I didn't know this, but I get lazy when it comes to pronouncing the Redskins quarterback's name.
Which quarterback?
It's Kirk Cousins. And sometimes I'll blend them together since Cousins starts. It's a hard C, so it's Kirk Cousins. It's kind of like I'm adding another K, and do I really need to? I'm removing it, So, but if you do Kirk Cousins, then it's probably not. It doesn't flow. So I get lazy sometimes. I'll just say, "Hey, Kirk Cousins," even during the highlights. Kirk Cousins, yes.
So why don't you just say then Kirk Cousins?
Well, I should.
That's what you should be doing.
Okay. I saw this article. It was sent to me by somebody in Washington, D.C. 24/7 Sports had something that says Dan Patrick hammers Kurt, K-U-R-T, Cousins on radio show. Okay. I hammered Kurt Cousins. Then there's I don't know Grant Paulson. He works in the Washington, D.C. media, but I don't know who he is. He said that I called Kirk Cousins Kurt 6 times while speculating that he's heard behind the scenes that receivers don't like him. Then he points out that, number 1, I should learn his name. Number 2, I don't believe that. Number 3, wait, does he not believe that I should learn his name, or he doesn't believe the story that I told about Kirk Cousins? Then he goes on to say that he doesn't buy that these receivers don't like him. So 24/7 Sports says they actually have to point out that I'm the former SportsCenter anchor. Apparently, I haven't done anything since ESPN, but they just went, oh, that's the guy who mispronounces Kurt Cousins' name. Said that receivers on the Redskins roster don't like their quarterback, citing sources familiar with the situation. Well, at least 24/7 said that I was told this, that the receivers don't respect Kirk Cousins because they think that he throws them into situations where they can get hurt. So Grant Paulson, who works for a radio station, 106.7 The Fan, says it's unlikely any form of real controversy is brewing behind the scenes. Frustration after an injury-ravaged season, sub-500 record. Sure, the team tuning out their quarterback and claiming they don't like him. Not likely. After all, Cousins was invited to sit in on the NFL Players Association and owners' meetings earlier this season in regards to social justice issues, proving how respected he is by his peers. That doesn't necessarily mean his wide receivers. He says, chalk this one up to make believe, but the headline was, I hammered Kurt Cousins. Now, it's a disingenuous headline to begin with, because if you listen to this program, you know how I feel about Kirk Cousins. We go back to Michigan State when Kirk Cousins joined us and gave us this.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
So that was when he was at Michigan State. And look, I have no problem if somebody points out that I have mispronounced or they think I'm saying Kurt Cousins instead of Kirk Cousins. If I'm being lazy with that, that's fine. I should be better about that. But when you misidentify what I said on this show, because during that broadcast, this is what I had to say about Kirk Cousins. I said somebody at the game said to me, who's not affiliated with the Redskins. I actually had somebody from the media in Washington, D.C. ask me last night, are the Redskins the source? And I went, the source of what? Did the Redskins reach out to you because they want to discredit Kirk Cousins? And I went, no. And if somebody from the Redskins did, I'd say, what's your motive here? But Kirk Cousins, from what I was told, some of the receivers have a problem with him because he throws them into positions where they can get hurt. That's all. During the same broadcast, during the same show, I said the following about Kirk Cousins. So you tell me if I hammered Kirk Cousins. So this is what was told to me. Not, hey, I don't like Kirk Cousins or his receivers. Hey, they should have a problem. I said Kirk Cousins was going to be the highest paid quarterback. He's a top 10 quarterback. I would take him over the reigning MVP, Matt Ryan. I also defended Kirk Cousins with Steve Smith and Marshall Faulk with their nonsense that they said post-game about he probably cost himself $10 to $20 million by his lack of leadership in that game. When I said, do you really need to walk over to your receiver, Jamison Crowder, and say, dude, hey, keep your head up. If I come back to you and throw you the football, that's a better way of saying I believe in you. So all of those things, and somehow the headline is I hammered Kirk Cousins. And the only reason why I bring this up is because I would hate for Kirk Cousins to think that I'm hammering him, that I, secondhand or third hand because somebody doesn't know how to report a story. That's where, if you read these things, that's where you have to ask as a listener or a viewer and say, are they really did you really do your job there? I mean, it's a cheap shot. But, and I'm sensitive to that because of Kirk Cousins, because that's not true. You want to rip me because I say Kirk Cousins? Go ahead. And I should be better about that. But for Greg Paulson, I don't know who you are, Greg. I don't know what your resume is like. But if you're going to chase down a story, chase down the story. And I'm not vindictive at all with any of this with Kirk Cousins or the Redskins. You can email the show. You want to talk to me? I'll be more than happy to talk to you about this, on or off the record. But this should not be a hatchet job with me going after Kirk Cousins at all. But tell the whole story. Because when you tell the whole story, it certainly doesn't sound like I'm hammering Kirk Cousins.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.